Hey cuties, I'm Lanikia and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is General Hospital edition. Sorry about that. All right, guys, let's jump right into it. On a scale of 1 to 10, this one is like a 7.5, 7. I don't know. Today is July the 25th, 2022, a Monday. All right, so let me tell you something. I had put these two first because I was like, I'm just going to get them out of the way. But Valentine and Anna, y'all know I say, okay, listen. To me, when Anna is with other people, it comes across a little boring, even though I love her as an actress. I'm not talking about Fiona, but sometimes it can come off a little boring. Like when she's not in action, she's not working, figuring out a case, it can be boring to me. But when she's with Valentine, I don't know, the chemistry coming off these two today was so good. I like them together. I don't want her with Valentine because I feel like she will get her heart broken. But Anna's like, listen, I'm going into this with eyes wide open. I already know the kind of man that I have. And so it is what it is. I said, well, okay, girl, then let me stop worrying about it. I like y'all together then. So they were talking and she tells him, I'm not going to even sit here and pretend like everything's okay. She said, I know you were not in that hospital. And so he tells her that he had to have surgery and he had an infection and everything, and it went to his spleen. And so, that's why he sent Charlotte away. And she said, well, why didn't you tell Laura? Or Nina. He said, well, Nina was dealing with Sonny. Laura was dealing with personal matters and her mayor matters. So I had to, even though I didn't want to, I had to trust Victor with Charlotte. And he said, and I'll do everything to protect Charlotte. And she just tells him, you're different since you've been back. You're darker and everything. And he tells her, I know I'm going to lose you. He's like, as much as I want you and I want us to be together, I know I'm going to lose you. And she said, why would you lose me? And he was like, 1,000. I'm not going to hold y'all long. 1,000 reasons. And then the chemistry was coming off these two. I said, yes, Anna and Valentine. It's good. Y'all, then we go to Michael, Drew, Willow, and Carly. They announced that they're pregnant. Drew is very happy for them. They say, we're gonna get everything back. Don't worry about it. We're all gonna bounce back. Carly tells Drew, don't worry about everything as far as the merger and it not going through and she losing her half of Metro Court. They blame Ned. Honestly, I blame y'all because y'all should have. At not one time did Ned say, yes, I'm going along with this. Like, not one time did y'all ask Ned, can we count on you? Y'all never got that answer from Ned where he said yes. So I blame you. Y'all should blame yourself. Don't blame Ned. Let's move on. So then we see Michael and Willow is telling Michael, with the baby coming and everything, why can't you forgive your dad? Like, your mama has moved on. Like, that's what she's telling him. Carly has moved on. Carly's in a much better place. Why do you have to go after revenge? And he said, it's not revenge. And she said, really? And he says, no, it's me wanting to make a name for the family that's better and all that. But Willow don't believe him. She's like, this ain't nothing but revenge. So then we see Drew and Carly, and they're speaking and everything. And when they're speaking, I said, I don't see the chemistry. I'm sorry. They remind me of, they have that chemistry like Ryan Seacrest and Kelly Ripa. It's that kind of chemistry to me. And they were about to kiss and everything. And I'm like, I don't see it. Like everything that I saw with Valentine and Anna, I don't get with these two, but y'all going to force me to like them as a couple or watch them as a couple. And it is what it is. I mean, but I'm not. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not feeling it. I don't care. Like, I'm not feeling it with these two. So let's move on. Oh, he asked Michael and Willow left, and he was like, "Should I leave?" And she was like, "Only if you want to." And he's like, "I don't have to be anywhere." So that's when they was trying to get all romantic and stuff, and try to force the chemistry that's not there. I'm really disappointed because I wanted Drew with Britt. Like, I feel like that would have been something different. All right, let's move on. So then we see Sonny and Dex beat up on Felty. That's pretty much what they're doing. They're whooping Felty up. And old Jocelyn comes through and she's like, I caught you. I got it on videotape. And I said, is this real? What is going on here? Y'all are just forcing different storyline. Like this had, I don't even understand this storyline right here. It just a filler. So anyways, Jocelyn catches him and he tries to reason with Jocelyn to delete the video because she caught them beat him up, and she's like, you're gonna go to prison for what you've done. And he said, what, you think Avery and Donna are gonna be happy about that? What about Dante and Christina? And she said, I noticed you didn't mention Michael or whatever. And she said, Michael told me what you did on that stand, how you said you didn't want to know anymore. I'm like, he was like, what's going on between me and your mom has nothing to do with you, but Josh gonna make it between them. I don't care. Let's move on. So then we see Josh talks to Dex, and she's telling him, he's begging her not to do the video. And she said, he's saying, I didn't know Dex was enjoying that. Like I said, sir, please, you were enjoying every minute of that. He said, we weren't going to kill him. And Josh said, how do I know that? And then he tells her, his life would be over. And he was like, and you didn't record that video because you wanted to be a good citizen. You did that video because you want to get back at your stepfather, your ex-stepfather. So it's not like you were doing this for good reason. And he said, we were doing this for Sasha and Brando. I said, I don't know why you're telling her about Sasha and Brando, because it's been clear that unless it has something to do with Carly, Michael, and Josh directly, like if it's them directly or Willow, they don't be caring about all that. So reasoning with her on that makes no sense. But when he does talk about his life being over or whatever, she falls back and says, okay, Sonny's ruined enough lives and everything, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete the video. So she deletes the video. So then Carly and Sonny gonna run his butt over to Carly and tell her daughter's out of control. And then he started talking in front of Drew and everything, and he started telling her what was going on. And Carly was like, what do you want me to do? And she was like, well, I'm going to tell Josh to make the best decision. If that lands your butt in Pittonsville, oh well. And so then he says, Carly, you already lost the hotel. You could lose a whole lot more. That's what Sonny says or whatever. And Drew tells him he needs to leave. And Sonny said, this is my house. And Drew said, this isn't your house anymore. And he said, Carly, it's not. He tells Drew, it's not your house either or whatever. And Carly was like, this is it's my place, and she didn't want him there. And he was like, what, y'all moving in? Unless y'all moving in together or something. And then she tells him, go be with, I'm sure they'll have conjugal visits in Pittsville. I said, Nina and Drew don't need to be with neither one of y'all, because both of y'all are just mad. And if you had a chance to just sit down and go away for a weekend or something, y'all would probably be together again. Drew and Nina need to move on from Sonny and Carly, because both of you, like you, and then because as soon as he leaves, Drew said, are you okay? And she said, no, I got Sonny right where I want him. Where is it, ma'am? Like, what do you want from the man? What do you want? You say you said you don't want to be with him anymore. All he do is cheat on you. Y'all both, your relationship is toxic. Leave each other alone. I'm sick of it. And besides all that, like, y'all really want me to believe that Sonny is beating up Felty in an alley that's exposed for everybody that could possibly see him doing this. And then he runs over to Carly and talks to her right in front of Drew. Let's move on. Like, y'all not finna. Let's move on. All right. So then we talk about Molly and TJ talk. Okay, so I was trying to find a new picture of Molly because Mama's hair is pretty. I like that on her. It makes her look, like a young adult. She real cute. And so she was just complaining to TJ because she said the DA, the prosecutor, she is pretty much benching me. I thought I was supposed to be lead on this, but she's giving me so much paperwork and stuff that I'm not doing any kind of prosecution on Trina's trial and everything. And TJ was like, well, I'm kind of glad you're not, because and she said, yeah, we talked about this and everything. And so then and that was pretty much it with them, y'all. He's just glad. She tells him, I thought I could help, like get the bad guys and all that kind of stuff. But she says, I don't think you can help on the system or working on the inside or whatever. So I said, well, is Molly about to have a career change? And why? Okay. Cause I like Molly and TJ, and y'all try to like, yeah, cause I remember y'all posted an Instagram about them or whatever, and people was like boring couple, but I think they're a cute couple. They're a little bit on that boring side, but I think it's because y'all don't give them any roles. Like, they have no storyline at all. The only thing TJ does is like somebody comes in and he'll work on them or whatever. But besides that, there's no storyline. And don't tell me that his storyline is just being a doctor, because when Patrick was a doctor and Robin was a doctor, we saw they had storylines like outside of just being at the hospital and stuff. So you could do this with TJ and Molly as well. Let's move on. So then we see Esme. They pick up where they left off, and Esme has drugged this man, and he looking at Esme like, "What have you done?" So then we hear Curtis knocking at the door, and Esme is so frightened because she knows she done messed up, and she goes and hides, and Curtis breaks the door down, and Oz is there. So Oz is there, and he's all drugged out, and Curtis says, "Talk to me. Who did this? What happened?" And he says, "A girl, she did this to me, or what if she was here and she gave me something." And I don't know, remember if he said in his drink or what, but he said she gave me something, and Curtis was like, who? But he couldn't tell him because he's out of there or whatever. So then we see Nicholas, Ava, and Spencer are talking, right? Well, actually, it's Ava and Nick, and she telling him Trina had a bad day in court, so I'm gonna need 3 martinis, but only let me have 2. And he said, "Oh, no, ma'am, don't touch my microphone. Excuse me." He says, she said, "But only let me have 2." So then Spencer come up. He said, "Hey, can I talk to y'all?" And they're like, "Okay." And so they sit down and they talk to him or whatever. And he was, so she was like telling them that Trina had a bad day in court and everything. And he was like, "Why?" And so then Esme texts Nicholas. So then Spencer and Ava continue to talk, right? And so she tells him everything that went down. She said, Josh tried to help Trina, but the more she tried to help, the worse she made it or whatever. And he said then Rory had to get on the stand because Josh had just said Trina wouldn't even know where to find a bird or phone. And Rory got on the stand and said Trina was trying to get a bird or phone. And he was like, "Why would he do that?" And she said, "Because Trina and Josh went and tried to buy a phone or whatever." And he was like, "Oh my gosh." So he's just telling her, she's just telling him everything about the case. Now on the outside, because this is Mitchell Court, now Esme sent Nicholas this text message, and it said, "I'm outside of the Metro Court. You want to come out here, or do you want me to go in?" I said, first of all, that's a threat right there. Nicholas, you're not reading this as a threat. So then she get him outside, and she tells him, "Listen, I wanted my internship," because she has got to go in and talk to her daddy, because she's in over her head with this. So she's got to go in and talk to her daddy and everything. And so she tells him to get the process moving. My internship, and nothing's going right, and I just feel like if I just start with a fresh plate, maybe telling Ava about us, because it's weighing on me and I feel guilty. And Nicholas said, "No, ma'am, we're not going to do that. Now, what we're going to do is get you this internship so you can get off my case." Because he said, "We meant nothing to each other. So why would we cause unnecessary pain on people?" And she says, "I just don't know. My life isn't going according to plan." And he says, "I'm going to get you that internship or whatever." And she says, "Okay. Thank you. I knew I could count on you." So then he get back with them because he lied to them and told them it was work. So he get back with Ava and all them, and he says everything is fine and all that. But the truth gonna come out this week, I believe. But anyways, let's keep moving. So then we go back, and Oz is now being worked on by TJ and Molly, and so Oz is being worked on by TJ, right? And they're like, "Okay." And so then we see that Molly, TJ, and Curtis talk, and they say that he tells them that Oz is the man who gave Esme the burner phone. He said the reason they think this is because he went out to Spoon Island. Who or what is he seeing in Spoon Island? And then all of a sudden he told him, "Hey, my drink was somebody, she drugged me." He said he didn't give a name, but he said she drugged me. She was on Spoon Island. We know it wasn't Ava. The only other woman out there is Esme. And they said, and so Molly and TJ said, "Well, it's making sense. It sounds like she did it." And Trina been saying forever that she didn't do that. She didn't have that phone. It was planted on her. And Curtis is like, yes. So then they said, Dr. Ashford, we need you. Because Oz in here flatlining. So he had to be placed into a medically induced coma. Y'all know how it go when they have to do that to him. So he's going to be in ICU or whatever. And they're like, oh my gosh, is he going to make it? I don't know. But then Esme, she goes and she calls the hospital, and the nurse pick up, and she tells the nurse, she tells the nurse she's his long lost daughter, excuse me, and she wants to know if he's okay or whatever. The nurse tell her, I can't give you that information, but let me get your information. She won't give her information, but the nurse slips up and does let her know he's going to be at ICU, and she says, is he in a coma? That's Esme. And then the nurse says, I need your information or whatever. And so Esme hangs up because at this point, she know that Oz probably is not gonna make it. And all girls start smiling. I said, nah, Esme, you are the villain they've been waiting on. Now you're a little young, but this is the villain y'all been waiting on. Every soap has to have it. But listen, what General Hospital is not going to do is bring on silly storylines like Jocelyn catching Sonny with beating up on Felty. Like that, I don't know. That's just a silly storyline. I don't want to see it. Like, and if y'all gonna let Carly and Sonny leave each other alone, then leave each other alone. Or whatever. And then even Willow is like, Michael, why you keep doing this? Like, your mama is happy. She seemed to have moved on, but really she hasn't moved on. She's just putting on for like, Drew, move on and find somebody else. Nina, move on and find somebody else, because Carly and Sonny gonna be back together by Christmas. Who knows? But anyways, that was General Hospital today, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow for a new episode. Okay, mama. Okay.